think we're on, but I thought we were on before, so we're going to go ahead and not assume. God damn it. Oh, thank God we're back. Okay. Yeah, guys, let me tell you, didn't miss this part of the streaming. You know, I want to just stream. Once upon a time, we had a producer. Bless his soul, he was a legend. He's the one who brought us this whole studio, helped us make it look all fresh and fancy, and he would just sit there and make sure everything was working, and I could just sit here and rant. And now I get mid-rant, and I turn, and then somebody's like, yeah, we've been rugged. How long were we rugged? I mean, where did I leave off? I don't even know. What was I saying? I have no idea. This is sad. It make my brain hurt. Speaking of Italians, I can't wait to meet Luigi from Ava Labs. He's going to be in Barcelona next week, which is where I'll be. So part of the reason I'm not committing to getting fully back into the streaming yet is just because I don't know where I'll be each week. I'm going to be in Barcelona next week for sure. Then I have to move out of our house for a few months to get some work done, and that's like, where's the studio going to set up? I'll probably have some set up, and I'll get going as much as possible because I like this shit. You know, this stuff keeps me sharp. It gets me out of bed in the morning. It gets me on point. I'm not one, sadly, who is driven entirely internally. Like, I don't just wake up and be like, I'm going to work out and get everywhere on time and blah, blah, blah. Like, I need a push. I need a gym partner. I need, I don't say I need a boss, but it does motivate me to do this stuff. Anyways, so market's looking up. I think we're just going to start the stream again because now the chat is exploding with excitement. So it tells me that suddenly everyone's here. I don't know what was going on before. It was like a ghost town. It was weird. Oh, God. No. Are you guys telling me that this entire time for 30 minutes you've just been in the chat and I've never been there? Oh, no. Is that what's... Oh, my God. No. No. Gentlemen. Ladies. Oh, my God. Oh. Oh. I'm just going to soak this one in, guys. Oh, dear. Dear. Okay. Fuck off. You guys are killing me. Y'all were sitting there so quiet in the chat, and I just was like saying things. I told a really fucked up story. No one said a word, and I was like, okay, quiet crowd. I deserve this. It's been a while. Oh, and here it was showing me streaming, and up on YouTube there was a preview. It said excellent connection. I'm flying along. I saw a couple things, guys saying hi, so I figured I'm live. And I have been streaming, talking to myself apparently, showing charts for fucking 30 minutes. Oh, guys, I quit. I'm out. Fuck this. I'm drinking coffee. And I got to... Oh, yeah, you can get a quick recap. Go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm going to give you the whole thing, guys. And now we're going to go turbo mode. Jesus, that is epic. That was an epic fail. Oh, that's embarrassing. At least no one knows what I was talking about. I'm really glad, though, in a way, because now the chat's live. I'm like, oh, fuck, people are here. It was just like creepy. Oh, this is why you need a producer. Someone who's in my ear like, dude, you're not live. I think that settles it. Time for a producer. Smeet, you might be hired. I do have, I do. I used to drink my coffee black, but my fiance loves that sweet creamer stuff, like all the little flavors, and she got me into it, and now I'm hooked. So, not cool anymore. I know it's like a manly thing. I drink my coffee black. Anyways, guys, it's so good to be back. Wow, can't believe I'm restarting here. I did a whole lot of fucking crazy recaps of my life. I will simply say that it feels good to be back. We're here. Yeah, I should ping the pit. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I need to double check this. That was insane. I mean, YouTube literally just said, and then I saw the thing up right. It was like go live. I was like, Jesus, I've not been live this whole entire time. I'm such a noob. Anyways, Ethereum just confirmed bullish market structure. Bitcoin looks good. Russia-Ukraine situation is fucked. Arthur's essay was outstanding. I read it last night. You should read it. Have a great day, guys. That's all from me. No, just kidding. So I did try to get the DeltaFi squad together. A little bit of why we took the break we took is because I was having trouble getting the squad together. You know, Messi needs and wants to take a break. I think he may be done. I think he's kind of done with the live streaming stuff as far as what he's told me. Our podcast ended as well. I'd like to say temporarily, whether, how that's going to look in the future. I loved doing it. So I'd like to do something like that. We'll restructure that. It's going to be a crazy year for me. I got the baby, get to move to a new house. Really sad story with our nanny. We hired a new nanny. One of the big things my friends all told me, I said, how do you work so much while you have this baby? How do you grind? Where's the crypto grind at? He said, look, hire help, make it an expense that, so we hired a nanny. She was wonderful, beautiful soul, 22 years old, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, goes to church. Lovely little lady. I said little, young lady. She passed away 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks into working with us, loved her. She's part of the family. She was here on a Friday, all good, healthy as ever. Saturday night, the next day, brain hemorrhage. Blood vessel popped in her brain. Rushed to hospital. Open brain surgery. Medically induced coma. Sister came to tell us a couple days later, said, just so you know, she won't be back. This is what happened. And 9 days later, she died. So life is precious. It's fragile. That was a very heavy hit to us for more reasons than obvious. Like that, it's just terribly sad. We loved her. She was great. But now, we're back on our own again. And it's fine. Could be worse. It's not like we both have to rush off to 9 to 5 jobs and we can't find anyone. Like I work from home. My fiance's on mat leave. But she was here to really give us the space and time to do all the things that we, streaming, all the work that I want to do. And then we took that hit. So terribly tragic. And it was just a healthy reminder to really soak in every day because, she was healthy. She was just, going to just do my thing. They just got a new puppy. She was excited. Really fucked up, guys. So appreciate it. And this should have been the clue that I was not live because I kind of told this story 10, 15 minutes ago and nobody said anything. And I was like, oh God, I've been gone a long time. They all hate me. What did the market do to everybody? No hearts. Anyways, really sad. Just a tragedy, and there's not much you can do. And we live in a kind of a small, quiet area. So we're struggling to find somebody to help us. Yeah, so that's a little bit of why I stepped away. Not like that, but it was well, I'm not coming back now. So I am back today, and I'm around. I'm around, and I'd like to get into the streaming stuff more again. But I'm also going to be moving out of this new house because we're getting a little bit of work done on it. We're redoing the kitchen stuff. We have to leave for a few months, and so I don't know where I'm going to be. Don't know where I'll be streaming from and if I can get the studio set up at the new place, like some Airbnb or some shit. So, anyways, that's kind of why we paused. Rob, even this week, I was like, let's stream. He's like, yeah, I'm down, bro. And then yesterday, he's just call, back to back to back. They're just so busy with Hxro Network. So it is tough. It is tough for him to make it. Dan, obviously, even prior to that was just it's really hard for him to get home from the office. So my vision is to rejig something so that maybe it's just Rob and I, and we maybe have Dan or Messi or some other guys as guests when they can make it. And that's just going to mean I need to figure out where my new studio is going to be at whatever this new place. We don't even know where it is or how long we'll be there or when I have to book it. So there's just a lot of moving parts. So in the meantime, I'm just going to fire live and do some of these when I can because I enjoy doing it. You guys are great. You energize me, and it's like you put on your face for the stream, and it just kind of energizes me as well. So let's get after it. Let's get into the charts, guys. I know. I'm gonna go visit Messi someday, but right now all the kids getting brain clots at the moment. Tinfoils are saying it's the vaccines. Yeah, what the fuck, Ronnie Redcoat? Was it something I don't know, man? What the hell? Was it something to do with that? I don't know. I didn't even occur to me was she vaxxed or not? I try not to get into that stuff, but yeah, really sad. Really sad. And yes, Johannes, I agree. Arthur's article was insanely good. Guy is smart. You know, I'd heard about Annihilation, his previous essay. I hadn't read it. I don't know why, like scoffed at it or whatever. But apparently it, you know, it was very super bearish, and here we are in a bear market. But let's look at some charts, guys. Let's, you know, how bad is it? Is it going to get much worse? I don't know. I'll tell you what I'm doing though. I am getting longer. I'm still 56, 57% cash. Peak cash for me was like 78. I was late to that party. I round tripped my bag of ice, which is the one thing I should talk about today. You know, like part of the other time, you know, taking a break in early January, like it was tough. No matter how good your year is, which hopefully you had a good year in 2021, 2020, unless you're new and you're learning, and that's okay. You know, there's going to be more opportunities. But that was a crazy bull. In retrospect, that was it. That was the bull for now. And so it's about like getting in, how much did you manage to extract, or are you a holder? You know, you have a different investment profile. You're saying, you know what, 5, 10 years, 3, 5 years, whatever. In which case these dips are part and parcel for the course, par for the course. But I round tripped ICE. I got, as you guys know, last fall, super bullish on ICE, super bullish on Danny, all his projects. The guy's smart as a whip. You know, you say what you will about Wonderland, how it all ended. I think that was terrible, tragic, and confusing for my brain because I'm friends with the guy. You know, we hung out, we partied together, we had a great time. We hugged it out. I said, dude, I'll see you later. And then he turns into this evil person in the public eye. And I just think, oh, that's very confusing for me emotionally because he never did anything wrong to me, even though I think, you know, we went over this, but like some poorly made decisions for sure. And then whatever else is going on in the back end, I don't know. Like I was never privy to that stuff, right? So anyways, it was a confusing time. I picked up a fuckload at $5. Super bullish. I said, this is basically a slam dunk. I added at 18 because I'm a FOMO boy. So on this dip here, I added. And I never sold. I was in Lisbon with him right here. By the time I got home, it was down 40%. I said, I'm going to wait for that short reload zone, some kind of bounce, and then I'll exit. It never happened. It dropped 80% in 3 weeks straight. And then here, I had just decided, I guess I'm screwed. I'm going to hold until new highs anyway. So I didn't even think to take some here. I round tripped this whole fucking thing. So even after an outstanding year, I mean, a year where I achieved goals that I had set for 5 years and I hit them last year, you know, financial goals, I was like, oh, like, you know, so how do you feel bad? How does the market manage to still make you feel like shit after you have what can only be described as a life-changing, you know, incredible year? And it's like a one trade like this. I call it a trade. It's still open. I still have it. You know, break even for me would be like $10. I'm like, am I going to exit there? Maybe. It's a throwback. Probably should. And then just, you know, if I want to get back in, I can get back in later. But part of it was that I had such a size of a position. The liquidity was so shit that I just struggled to exit in total. So I just decided to hold. I should have been chipping away. Point being, January hit me hard emotionally, even though, you know, you play that role of like, well, you know, it's trading, you got to be disconnected. Well, it was still depressing. I find January is depressing in general because of the darkness, the cold. And so, yeah, it was hard to get up and get moving. And then on top of that, it was hard to get, you know, Dan and Messi and then Rob was always down. You know, Rob, he's down. And I just said, okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a little vacation. I need to like reset. So we were in the Caribbean for a week last week. That was like, you know, after what happened to the nanny, and we just said, look, you know, let's just get out of town for a week. Let's just purely unplug. And that was really nice. I came back weirdly wrecked though, like super tired. Just like, it wasn't a restful vacation, you know, drinking on a little bit each day, like sitting in the sun, draining. But anyways, I'm back. Popsicle Finance is awake. I think it's like 2x off the lows. I love that. Like this is 100% move. It's crazy visually. Anyways, so this is the one that got away from me. This is my, you know, what do you call it? Unicorn. Couldn't capture it last year. And you know, I think as a trader, you're always going to have those. Usually if you have a really good year, you can narrow it down to like 2 or 3 big trades that made your 90% of your year. And then you probably will have 1 or 2 big regrets. I'd like to work my way down to 0 for big regrets. But, you know, the goal is not to be perfect. It's to be better than last one. And I think I did that. So, point being, you know, for all the successes I felt that I enjoyed last year, I still managed to like carry some pretty heavy bag through this, like enough to help my parents retire up and then gone. So either way, holding that position, life goes on. 56% stables now. I was at 78, so I am kind of getting bullish, getting back into positions, but I'm going to be very hesitant to put the other 50% of my stables back into play because they're yielding, and that's going to cover some of what I need, right? That ice chart is a market cycle. It's a market cycle, but it's weird, dude. I'll be honest. Like this looks, I don't want to say fishy and just get the conspiracy theories going, but this doesn't look natural. I don't think it takes a scientist to see that, but like it does not follow natural things. This is like some Eiffel Tower shit. Typically in a healthy market, you see the bid come back. There's like a debate here between the bulls and the bears, and then maybe the bears win, and then, and you come down. And you'll see that on charts like, let's say Solana. Let's go pick Solana. Much healthier market, right? Much healthier, right? Even here, you say, okay, we got the Eiffel Tower up, but the bulls step back in. We have a debate. Like this is what you would expect to see. Now this has to do with liquidity. There was very little liquidity on this coin because everyone was staked, which at one point was a bragging point. And I think that's why it went up so fast because it was all just staked. But then on the way down, you get the elevator shaft. The elevator shaft, not even the elevator, just literally push you into an empty shaft. So yeah, it was not a natural looking thing. I think everyone says, yeah, Kevin's like, yeah, we all played ice badly. I played it worse. I know a lot of guys saying, well, I got out of 10, I got out of 28. I'm literally still fucking holding it. I sold 3% of my bag at $59 and I was like, I'm such a scammer. I shouldn't be selling. It's such a good coin. So silly. Yeah, but like I said, can't be perfect. Hype driven, not natural. Yeah, Kevin, and that's the thing, right? There was a lot of hype, and when you're in it and it's good and it's paying you money, you're like, yeah, this is great. But in the back of my mind, you guys know me, I try not to hype things because I don't want a coin to go up on my name or my word or my hype, because then that's like it's false and it's driven and then it gets rugged extra hard. And I think looking back, that's probably where I think Danny went a little bit wrong. Instead of letting the tech and the demand and the tokenomics really drive it, it was a lot of like cheerleading from, himself and Frog Nation vibes. And that often does, when it's very heavily emotionally sentiment driven, its ups and downs are huge. And that's just, it is what it is. That's not just a him thing, right? There's a lot of examples of intense community-driven rallies and then dumps. And sadly, it's heavy bags for a lot of people. Spell, I like Spell. I got no problem with Spell. I think it's still going to do well. I still think ICE will probably come back. There's other people on the team. This isn't like, and Danny will be the first to tell you, he's got a lot of devs. He's got a lot of people on his team. He's taken a back seat from social media. I think he learned some valuable lessons there, and that's great. We're all human. We're all learning. We're growing. We've got this support here. I think Spell, emissions-wise, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I've got some Spell and vesting. And, I bought some OTC last year, and, yeah, I'm going to hold it. I think it's going to do well. I think it could anyways, So if I'm sitting here with cash and it's like, oh, what should I do with my cash? Spell's not my first stop for buying. But for the stuff that I have exposure on, yeah, I'm not panic selling it here and thinking it's all going to die. No. I mean, it's like a third of a penny. It's up 10x to the highs here. Yeah, I think it'll do well. Like Abracadabra is a dope product, period. It's very cool. Let's go look at some charts, though. There's some really good charts happening. First of all, consolidation year. So far, so good. Boring as fuck. Tough trading. I thought it was interesting while I was away on my week off. I did glance at some things, but I didn't obviously get out the laptop and do the full charts and all that. And price basically was exactly where I left it. I traveled, I got back. Yes, we had the big swing up, big swing down, big swing up, big swing down, but it was really right where I left it. But the sentiment had tanked, which was crazy. Oh my God, we have a spammer in the chat. I don't think I even gave Victor a heads up about the stream, so he's not going to be here to moderate, so I will do it. Spammer in the chat. Okay. Regarding ICE, Hopium, Xavier says he's got Elliott wave theory. This is just the big wave one. Yeah, Abra's great. AVAX and CRA look good. Yeah, I hope CRA looks good. I'm still holding that stupid little bag I picked up, but it was a little, so I'm not too worried about it. You know, I find DEX trading really hard because I just can't set all the orders I want to. I know someone's going to tell me there's limit orders somewhere. I'm just a noob. I'm a boomer. So I did pick some up on this throwback. I thought it was pretty cool. Hit the short reload zone. Wasn't paying attention. Didn't have orders set. Looked back and it was here. And I was like, oh, these fucking paper hands. Anyways, so I got a little Crobata. But you know what? I don't have a lot of GameFi exposure in AVAX, so I'm cool with that. Although the tokenomics did seem super inflation-y. So it's the kind of thing where like this year it's hype and cool and then you hold it. And then over the next like 2 years, all that like maybe that dilution happens and you just get this like crazy, you know, I don't know. Who knows? But I'm holding it. It's probably down 30, 40%, that bag. It's a small bag. No, I didn't. You know what? I planned to. Oh, yes. Coach is here. Nice, man. I thought you were. I thought I saw you, but it's all good. Y'all, the Matisse ecosystem. Yeah. So I'm not in the Matisse ecosystem. I've not been super aggressive, as you can imagine. So when people are saying like, oh, like big rotation coming to Matisse, Metis, whatever. I'm not like, okay, rush, get my shit in there. I did that in January on a few plays and I got rinsed. You know, I took a few big trade losses. And in retrospect, it was this classic case, not leverage, but like sizing up a position, thinking you have an edge, which I thought I did. Like I got some good info. But the market just is like, no, fuck you, I'm a bear. Everything's going to dump. And so I took some size on a couple plays. I took the max loss, 5% on them, which hits hard. You know, 5% loss on one trade really hits hard, especially in the backdrop of any other bags you're kind of holding, taking bigger losses because it's a hold, right? So like ID down 20, 30%, whatever. But like settling a 5% drawdown on one trade really, really sucked. So I kind of like got gun shy for a bit. And I said, look, I know me from last bear market. I'm like, where's the camera? I know me and I really need to practice sitting on my hands. You know, not just saying it and then kind of doing it and then still just buying and selling dumb shit. But like actually for like 18 months, maybe 6 months, you know, not look away, keep paying attention. Like right now, I actually think things are looking really good for the next couple months. I think we're going to see a spring rally, but like not get out of that 50% cash position, like actually just sit on that, you know, yield it at 7 and 8%. I'm right now like enjoying Nexo and BlockFi, safe, dusty CFi, but at least there's no smart contract risk that I have to worry about or things I don't understand like Anchor protocol. I'm sure Anchor's dope, but like 20% is good. It's about 2.3x the amount of yield I'm getting already. So yeah, okay, cool. But is the risk 2.3x higher or is it even higher? I feel like it's even higher. Moreover, I just don't understand it. And daily compounding USD interest is cool for me. I'm happy. So I'm settled in that. And then I think I've got that 50% stablecoin position. I'm kind of like setting as my floor for now because look, God, I want a different chart. Where's the chart I want? Oh, sorry. I've been clicking through these for a sec casually. Here it is. So we got to go to the 3-day, which is really what this is based off of. Kind of like the weekly, but not quite. Just a little bit between them. First of all, clear as day, bulls are in control. On volume, does not mean price go up, but they are in control. The bigger volume days are outweighed by the bulls, and not just one candle, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm very confident when I look at this to think that the next major move from here, breaking out of this consolidation, will be up. That's not a guarantee, but that's like a strong lean for me. And so when you get this new uptrend confirmed, you know, right here, which was a little weird, like on some of the charts, the daily, it never did confirm. The weekly, it never did. So like this, maybe this is me like picking hairs here, splitting hairs. But, you know, I liked it. It was the chart I was already looking at. I was looking at the 3-day, then it happened. I said, okay, cool. Well, any dip into here is my higher low. I add to my Bitcoin mid high 30s. You know, I thankfully had added some in the 34 area. I don't know if it was in the first dip or I think it was the first dip, not the invasion lows. The invasion lows, I kind of got deer in the headlights, admittedly. Even though, you know, that was like the classic wait for the big dip, then grab up this reload zone dip. That's my classic setup. But, you know, you spend too much time looking at social media and get caught up in the fear and the hype and whatever. And so, yeah, deer in the headlights that morning or that night. And then the next morning I did add a little bit, basically chasing the Biden pump. It's silly. But either way, I'm just DCing. I'm kind of like picking away at Bitcoins down here. Added some ETH, added some Solana more recently, and then added some AVAX. Those are really what I'm focused on. Yeah, I'm sure there's 100 or 200 really cool altcoins out there, but I'm not trying to get too spread out because if I'm wrong, we're going to pivot lower. I don't want to be in 10 positions I have to close. I just want to have a couple concentrated bets. Now, I think that the bears here who are saying, no, macro is way too bearish over the long term here. There's no way Bitcoin's just going to rush to new all-time highs or altcoins, whatever. I'd say, cool, you might be right. But even if we are in some kind of broader bear market for the next long while, it stands to reason to me that we would retrace some of this first, or at least that we very well could. So I don't think that a rally from here is really negating anyone's like sort of longer term bearishness, and that to me is a strength of the trade. I like that. It's like, oh, yeah, the bears could be right. Even so, usually it doesn't happen as easy as you want. You know, it's not like, oh, now that we're down here and everything's looking super fucking bearish, the short is the trade. I think these highs at the very least are going to get swept before any new lows. And then I think from there we could 50% it. 50% is probably the conservative target if I want to be like a GAN trader. And then if I want to get real cheeky right up in here. I mean, and let's be honest, what is the sentiment going to be if we get up here? Ask yourself that. What are people going to be saying? What is the... Bro, you're Canadian. It's Métis. Yeah, okay, Métis. Okay, fuck. Metis. I'm such a guayjo. All right, so... Yeah, what's the sentiment going to be up here? People who don't look at charts, people who just like read headlines, like, you know, the public, whatever. We're the public, but you know what I mean. The super pubs, the pleblic, they're going to be up here just buying like crazy. And that's the short reload zone. You know, if we get up into there, that's where I'd expect to see like, ooh, a nice push up. And then it's like, ooh, a nice push up. Momentum rolls over, volume falls off on this latest high. And that ends up marking like the local highs. And that's where you end up with something like this. So I still think that this is a best case scenario for this year. And based on the lower time frame stuff that I'm seeing, like, well, the 3-day on Bitcoin, but, you know, where is it? Ethereum. Where is Ethereum? Ethereum just confirmed last night. I think this is a really good signal, really strong. Especially when you put it in the context of ETH BTC. Like, look at this. This thing's just been in this like little trend channel for better part of a year now. It's at the lows, kind of crossed this trend line, crossed that trend line, just confirmed a W. The buy volume stepping back up. So not only that, I think ETH could outperform Bitcoin here, which is weird because I've been buying more Bitcoin than ETH. So I need to reconsider that. But I did add some ETH this week in the 26s, 25s, a little bit 25s, I think mostly 26s. And I'd like to ride that at least to this midpoint. You know, we'll see how this plays out. This is ETH BTC though. I'm mostly trading versus USD. So, and you know, like you can see, like the bears fell asleep. There's a lot of opportunity to sell here, a lot of reason to sell if you believe in the macroeconomic backdrop. And yet they all just kind of fell asleep, and now the bulls have been stepping in. So, yeah, I think spring rallies in the cards, and it's not about, oh, new all-time highs, blah, blah, blah. Maybe Luna, maybe some other names are going to go all-time highs. It's a retrace, right? It's a dip in a bull market, but it's a bounce in a bear market, and they happen. And it's very hard to trade them because you get so caught up in the emotion of this that when this happens, it's disbelief. And I thought it's shocking to me, actually, like how strong the disbelief is. right? Where anyone who was calling bull on every bounce along this thing has just been such an idiot, right? Oh, you're an idiot. And now it's like people are so jaded when this starts to happen. Everyone's like, ho, 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 1%. You know, that meme of the guy that's like, oh, 1%. And so it's like become this meme, like you're an idiot if this made you get bullish because we know better because it's a chop, it's a bear market. And I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I don't trade just off of that, right? The TRI methodology that I trade off is about, find multiple unrelated reasons to take a trade. So my location, well, we get this little, what do you call that, little demand box, little support, SR, whatever. W off of that in the local reload zone. We're actually in a higher time frame reload zone as well. If you take off the July lows, right? So we're just down in this reload zone. So location, check. Momentum indicators, I feel like on certain time frames there was some divergences. It's not exactly why this trade, for me, but that's another one we would use, like some momentum indicators. For me, it's more the volume. So I've got my location, I've got my volume, I've got my market structure now saying, okay, I had a low, I had a high, I had a higher low, I had a higher high, we're in an uptrend. So I want to get longer on the higher low. And then I layer in the sentiment and I say, now, if everyone and their grandma was sitting there with their coins in their bags and they're cheering it on and they're saying, yeah, we believe this is happening, that would make me uncomfortable. I talk about it all the time last year. I say it's very uncomfortable for me when Johnny Public and Joe Sixpack and everybody's sitting in the chats telling me I'm an idiot for taking profit and I should be longer, and they're all talking about Lambos and how many they're going to own. That makes me uncomfortable because I'm like, fuck, this isn't going to end well. These guys aren't all on the right side together for the long haul. Like, they're all going to get rinsed. Now, just like that, down here, it's the opposite. I got everyone telling me about their stablecoin yields. I got guys flexing on me. How early they took stables. I took stables in January. Well, I took stables in December, sir. Everyone's in a rush to flex how well they were stabled, right? Which is not cool in the fucking bull market, let me tell you. You start bragging about how many stablecoins you have in the bull market, you're a loser. So you see that shift? You can't quite measure it, but you can smell it. You can sense it. And so we're down here now, and everyone, even in the tweets, just the tone of Twitter. This is the one thing that I like about Twitter. And again, you can't measure it, and it sounds silly. You say, oh, everyone's bullish, everyone's bearish. I'm not saying that. I find that silly. But as a broader part of an analysis, it's very hard to even communicate to you guys, but you can feel it, right? Bears complacent, yes. I think that's a good way to put it. But you just, I don't know. And then even like smart guys I know, they're like, I'm 85% stables and I'm comfy. And there's this cope almost going on with just this deep fear. I don't know how to put it, but the point is it's disbelief. It's this like, this rally is going to fail like all the others, and maybe it will. Maybe it will. But I'll tell you what, it's a setup that I like and I want to take it, and I've taken it and I'm going to add to it. But I am going to maintain my 50% stables because I don't have any reason to go full cowboy on this. If anything, I want to see if I can take that 50%, focus on it, just, not focus on it, and then take the other half and actually just grow that. And then I'm like, that's your position of strength, right? Anyways, so I don't know quite how to say it, but it's like everywhere I go, I was seeing in the chats, I was talking to friends, I was looking on Twitter, and I just kept seeing this consistent commentary. I'll give one good example. I messaged him and I said, dude, you just nailed what disbelief looks like subtly. If you guys don't know how to recognize it, I'm gonna help you out. It's okay. Where was it? Ledger tweeted something the other day. Yeah, I feel myself getting lured into bullishness like the fish that I am. Do you see how that's a different tone than when things are in a rip-roaring bull? Because it's the popular sentiment to be bullish. What am I buying? It's this bravado. It's this, And now we're in this place where you have to be sheepish about being bullish. And he, Ledger, he put it out there. He said, I'm feeling myself getting lured into bullishness like the fish that I am. I said, dude, that I just read that and I was like, this is the sentiment I want. This, and it's nothing, it's nothing wrong with Ledger. He's a sharp trader, but it's these little clues that I pick up on, this feeling in the market where even those who are bullish are very sensitive about it. They are aware that it's almost not cool to be bullish. Just like somebody trying to suggest like, oh, maybe the top's coming in, guys. Maybe, maybe things are getting a little bearish. Maybe we should take some risk off. And then right here, right? And everyone jumps on them like, you idiot, we're going to 100K, loser. So anyone posting bearish shit at the extremities of the highs, sentiment-wise, they do that sheepish kind of sugarcoat shit. And now we're seeing it on the other side. So, I don't know. I think it's really hard to exactly capture what I'm trying to say. I'm sure you guys have caught it though. And if you haven't yet, I'm probably not going to get you there. So yeah, well, here's the crazy thing, Dylan. I mean, for sure. Now here's the thing too. Like Dylan's like, I thought it was recession time. Dude, it could be. I just think even if we're going lower, we're probably going higher first and then lower. It's the squeeze, right? Just like in a bull market. Just like in a bull market right here, you say, yeah, I think we're going higher, but we're going lower first. We're going to pull back 30% and spend weeks helping people feel wrecked, make them sell the dip, then we'll continue higher. It's the same thing going down. Same thing going down if we're going to go down. So I'm not convinced we are. I mean, Bitcoin, alts are fucking super wrecked, a lot of them. So a lot of them are already at their 70, 80%, 90% drawdown levels. Bitcoin, again, I think this is the most optimistic I can be. Nice little fucking FU consolidation year, wash it out. And I could totally see it rolling over and getting more bearish, but it seems weird to me because the global macroeconomic blah, 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 blah should actually be quite bullish for Bitcoin. I'll tell you guys, it is a scary feeling to having just made some money last year to now be looking around like, oh God, everything's going to zero. Like, where do I put it? Can't put it in stocks. Gold is kind of like probably where I should put some. I like the idea of some gold after reading Arthur's essay yesterday. And I think, sitting in cash for some extent is fine. Like have some fucking cash. Yeah, 10% a year. Inflation's going to go down in value, but it's still cash. It's going to still not lose value as fast as some other shit. Have some Bitcoin, but then it's like, yeah, there's this fear of like, where can I hedge my life? Oil in a hedge fund? I don't want to put it into places where like bankers are going to bail themselves out before me if anything goes belly up. So I hold more Bitcoin right now percentage-wise than I've ever held before. Man, maybe not percentage-wise. At one point, I think I was just like had a smaller account and I was just like, it was in Bitcoin. And I was going to trade it. But like on a level of like, yeah, I have a lot more Bitcoin now than I've held all through the bull last year. I barely held any Bitcoin. It's the main thing I'm buying right now. So, and Canyu says, I got you. Good insight. Thank you. Yeah. No, I'm glad that you picked that up. So look, now here's the thing. I feel it in myself too. I feel the disbelief myself. Like I said, I'm 50% stables and I'm not going to go any further than that. And then like up here, it was like I'm 4% stables. And now at a much more opportune buying moment, chart-wise, I can only muster myself to get into like that 40 to 50% stable, exposure. It's crazy, these markets, what they'll do to you. But I feel pretty good about things like Ethereum getting a spring rally versus Bitcoin versus USD, both looking very strong. Now, this is not where I buy them, but the next dip, the next time you want to puke, the time where if I bought right now, sometime in the next week, I'd look at it and say, fuck, and I'm underwater 5, 10%, whatever. That's the day that I'm going to add more. I have some, but I'd like to add some more. And then let's look at things like AVAX. I'm going to go to their conference next week. It could be one. Ooh, spicy. Yeah. And like, look, guys, this is, if we could have removed the emotion from everything, right? And this is kind of why I don't really like to focus too much on macroeconomics and all this shit, because at the end of the day, it's just my TA shit that works. I was fucking around with some trend lines here. We don't really need to look at them. There's only one that I want to see. I mean, you could argue this one, okay, candle body highs here. Yeah, we've crossed it. This one's a little more what I was looking at, like wicks down. So anyways, we'll get rid of this just to not be too noisy. But This seems to be the one that's causing the resistance for now, right? Bing, 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 bing. And this is why it's good to wait for W's on the other side of trend lines. We talk about this a lot because then, you wouldn't be long until there, but at least you didn't get faked out, right? Because at one point this was a green candle on the other side of the trend line. Don't mean shit unless you get a bullish reversal in structure. Okay. Looking at this. Pretend there's no war, pretend there's no shit, pretend there's no reason, everyone's always searching for why did price do it? Well, fuck why. Why? There was more sellers than buyers, period. And where might those buyers shift the momentum? In the reload zone, right here, the 618, the high time frame throwback. Look at that. What if I just stopped paying attention to all the bullshit noise and crying on social media and actually traded my plan? I'm not going to blame other people, but my God, did I get caught up in some of that negativity, and that is harmful. You look back here, this is not really my style to just buy the daggers at these levels. I'd like, as you guys know, to risk against those lows. And so you wait for those lows to come in, which they did here. Let's get rid of that cycle. And then they bounce, and you say, oh no, I missed it. But no, I didn't, because it's the reload zone off of that bounce that is often the entry I want. And then you can measure that risk. You can say, okay, I'm going to risk to there now. 21%, it's a huge drawdown, but at least I know there's invalidation, and I can get my 3-to-1 right up to the short reload zone. This is the fib pong shit that dreams are made of. So admittedly, I did buy some AVAX on one of these bounces up. Again, not in my zone, not trading very well through January, February, a little on tilt, not like wreck my whole account tilt, more just like maybe subconsciously chasing what I lost through the top. Not perfect, not proud, but something I journaled about and something I'm, like everyone, just working on. So I did pick up some AVAX in the 80s because I didn't hold any. And I was like, fuck me, it's rallying. It was actually right here, I think. Because it kind of came up, flipped this level, and then started pushing through the trend line. So when it came back into here and it was just squeezing between this and the trend line, I said, oh, damn, I need some. And then it just dipped. I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. But I'm not selling because subnets are going to make it horizontally scalable. I think other entire L1s can just move into a subnet just to gain whatever from that. Games entirely moving into a subnet. All that driven by AVAX. All fees driving AVAX to get burned. I love it long term so much. So the AVAX I did pick up in here, I don't even really care. But of course I look down at this now and I say, oh, it would have been nice to get like a nice little snipe trade, like actually trade, my setups. Anyways, AVAX looking good. And with their conference coming next week, I think it's really cool. In a bull market, you get this rally into exciting things and then they're always underwhelming. Well, in a bear market, you just kind of dump and then hopefully this exciting thing will actually result in the move from here to here. And like I said, because the bag I'm holding is really for the long term, I don't even get to enjoy this move as much because for now it's not a trade for me. I'm just holding this. If I can get a dip here into that trend line, or maybe we flip this SR level and I can long off here, then I have a trade to enjoy while I'm in the air on my way to Barcelona next week. Yeah, so let's talk about Stargate. This is sort of where I was when you guys finally tipped me off that I was not streaming live. I think we've caught up to everything now. Whew. And I need to get focused because in 45 minutes this is going to happen, and I really actually do need to sign off here, guys, because I still, my MetaMask needs to be reconnected. It's not working. It won't authorize shit. I don't know. I have to go troubleshoot that on second thought. So in about 10 minutes max, I got to sign off here, guys. Oh, that's my phone. Let's go. Okay. But let's talk Stargate, man. Zero chain is something that I am super, super bullish on. Yeah, GLP is dope. I love GLP. I have a bag. So yeah, if you guys are going to be in Barcelona too, by the way, hit me up. Hit me up with a DM, I guess, on Twitter. Because I think my DMs on Discord are closed. But yeah, hit me up on DM on Twitter. Let's see if we can find an event. The one I wanted to go to, AVAX Party Animals, is apparently on the Monday. I'm not arriving till the Tuesday, so sad face. But yeah, let's hang. Let's grab a beer. I'll be there with a few guys that I work with, and I'm sure we're just gonna, I actually got a conference ticket, so I'll be in there too. But yeah, I might actually go to the conference this time. Didn't go to the one in Miami, didn't go to the one in Lisbon, but I feel like this one I actually do want to know stuff. Participate in Stargate's launch. So yeah, so 50 cents at the auction. Launch auction cap. Oh, it said 25 million earlier, so I don't know what's going on there. But the idea basically is I'm super bullish on layer 0. You can read this Twitter thread here. Layer 0 Labs. Follow them on Twitter. I should do that. Sorry, Brian. Anyways, yeah, I talked to the team in Lisbon, hung out with them, their founder and sharp guy. Love him. And would consider him a friend. I mean, we were grabbing beers all week and just kicking it. So anyways, not friends enough to get into the round. It was an extremely tight private seed and angel round. Very aggressive funds in there. So I had no chance. I did make many valiant efforts. But as it turns out, I can still get some at this auction. So I am going to try to buy some. Now the auction tokens will be locked for 12 months, and then they will have a linear vest. Good to have you back. Okay, winning and trading. Thanks, man. Cheers. Now, yeah, these are locked for 12 months and then linear vest for 6 months. If I wait for the bonding after, they're liquid. But the bond curve is 50 cents to $1.50. So I might get it 50 cents. I'm probably going to end up somewhere between 50 and $1 at best. And, so pay more, but get more liquidity. So what I think I'm going to do, just so I can take my paper hands out of the equation, is I'm going to throw a slug at this auction. Hopefully I can get it. Hopefully it's not a big stupid gas war. Hopefully my MetaMask works. Getting a little anxious about that. I got 40 minutes to fix it. So I need to do a little bit in the auction. And then what I'm thinking is I'm going to also throw a slug at the bonding, and maybe, ideally, sometime in the next year, while the auction stuff is still locked, I can 2x, hopefully 3x, whatever, and get that initial back. So let's just say, okay, put $50 into the auction, put $50 into the launch bonding. That turns into 100 or 200. Take my 100 back, and now I've got the free position locked up, risk-free. That's my goal. That's how I want to trade this or play this. It's easy to just be like, yeah, I'm just going to buy it and hold it because I'm super fucking bullish on it. I think they're going to build this crazy thing. Pretty much every smart person I know is extremely bullish on layer 0. There was a lineup around the block to buy OTC from all the pre-sale and seed investors, and guess what? None of them are selling. And that's rare. You might think, oh, of course not. No, like DOT had an extremely active OTC market prior to its launch. All these pre-sale investors in that selling at multiples, 6x, 10x what they paid, but just getting it off the books. I'm sure that the pre-sale and seed sale investors have been offered things like 2, 5, and 10x on their money, and none of them are selling. So it is very bullish. It's basically going to render bridges obsolete. Right? Layer 0, right? Layer 1s, L2s, and then this, like the idea being this layer 0, connectivity underneath, essentially between all blockchains. Very cool. So described it a little bit in this here, and Stargate is their first app. Anyways, I'm not going to sit here and say I have a PhD in math and I'm going to read through their white paper and explain it all in a tech sense. Messy would be better for that. I am ill-suited to that. All I know is that everyone I know that I need to greenlight something for me has greenlit it multiple times. So I've been waiting on this one for a while. So it launched in 42 minutes. So I do actually want to wrap. I was going to try to keep it to an hour, so I had lots of time to get ready for it, just to make sure I don't fuck it up. Because I would like some of this auction stuff, so it's like locked and whatever. So that's exciting. Yeah. This is the Dixie. There's so much to look at. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, God, last year, and it was all like, ooh, this short reload zone. And everyone's like, oh, if we get up there, we're going to be screwed. It's going to be a bear market. Well, here we are. But this is actually where I'd expect this to reverse, as you can imagine. This is the chaos level. This is the sweet spot. We already have the high and the lower high, and it looks like it might be forming bearish market structure. So look for the Dixie to reverse here. That could actually add some strength to this idea that Bitcoin needs to rally. And then the cool thing about me accumulating a position down here has been like the thought that once we get up here, what if I'm wrong? You know, what if it doesn't trickle back down, dump back down? Like, what if it actually just consolidates and then it blasts higher? And then I'm like, well, fuck. Right? And I've learned the hard way. Instead of just like, oh, I'm so bearish, I'm just going to wait to short it here. It's like, no, I'm going to long it into that just in case it gets there and doesn't do what I expect it to. And then, of course, you know, behind door number 3 is it just never gets there. And this is a bear flag. And we're like, fuck, oh my God, So for what it's worth, if we do spike lower, that is the buy for me. It's not the start of a big old bear market. A lot of people are like, oh my God, here we go. It's like, no, that's the end of the move for me. For me, like the way I look at the market, I don't give a fuck at that point. That's the end of the move for me. Not an all-in moment, but like a slug in the high and mid 20s, you know, worst case. I want to get down into here, but I'm not even thinking about that right now. I just see too much strength on things like the 3-day volume, you know, this consolidation, this bullish market structure, like blah, blah, blah. We've talked about it today. So, bye, Felicia. Auction is only on mainnet, pretty sure. Bonding is all on chains. Yes, bonding is on all the chains, and then the auction is only on the ETH chain. Does Stargate kill DOT's intent? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think it kills something like DOT, but it certainly could be the dominant force in interoperability. So if that's what DOT's thing was, then maybe. I mean, DOT has its parachains and stuff. I never really did understand the full sort of infrastructure around DOT, except for that it was like, ooh, DOT, bullish. But not bullish. DOT has not been very good to its later buyers. I mean, I'm sure it's way above. But look at DOT. I mean, this is a time to be thinking about being bullish on DOT from a technical point of view, right in the area where you want to think about that shit. You know, just like everyone was crying and shitting themselves. Oh! All right, we were all crying and shitting ourselves last July. Where was DOT? Chilling in the reload zone. Ooh, what a nice rally. Everyone up here telling you about how big DOT's going to be in 2022. Well, where are they now? They sold because they think they were wrong. In fact, they're doing it backwards. So this is a time to look all around the market, get serious about which things you don't want to miss. And I think, for me, DCAing is the strategy. Not trying to guess it, not trying to nail it and having to sell back if I'm wrong by a few inches on the chart or whatever. But simply just saying, look, we're deep in the reload zone on something that has a ton of development going on and is theoretically undervalued. You know, I do think that there is a global recession coming. I do think that inflation and prices and all this shit's going to go up. So I'm not as excited. There's my timer for get my shit together and get ready. So yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's time to DCA into projects that I'm super bullish on for the mid and long term, for sure. For sure it is that time. I don't know if DOT's on that list. I certainly haven't bought any yet. For me, it's just been Solana. Let's take a quick look at Solana. I do want to go here so I can get ready for Stargate. This is sort of my thinking. I just posted a couple of these yesterday. I was like, oh, you know, we could. But like, look, Solana, downtrend line, you know, and just starting to poke through, like made the low, up off there, down into that reload zone. No, the bulls aren't quite exploding yet, but it's usually a slow start. And so I think, yeah, could we chop sideways here for another month and drive people mad and then go? Sure. There's no reason to rush today. But this is one that I've been loading in the 80s. I'd love to say I bought it in the 79, but I didn't. But in the 80s, I've been adding Solana back. I think Solana is going to be around. I think it's going to be very strong. And I don't think that it can't happen in the midst of a equities recession or, you know, a dollar crisis or whatever. Yeah, I think some of these things could do well. Maybe that's super ignorant and everything just gets super fucking wrecked for a little while during that transition. But read Arthur's essay from yesterday. You know, I thought his reasoning was pretty sound. It had nothing to do with Solana or AVAX or any of this shit. This is me speculating, but for Bitcoin, I think gold, Bitcoin, the bid, very cool essay. I learned a lot. So I'll leave you guys with that. I think it's on my Twitter. I'm gonna retweet this just so I have it on my Twitter, And then I'm going to go see his article here. Yeah. Petro-dollars. Yeah. Worship Lord Keck and receive Pepe Cash. Yeah, really good, interesting article. Essay, I should say. The Whitley. So check it out. Energy canceled. I think we'll end with that today, guys. I'm not going to disappear for another 3 months. I'd like to go, at least once a week just to get in here and share my thoughts and kick it with you guys and hang out and hear from you as well, because you guys bring me a lot of good juice. I will start the stream next time at the start. I cannot believe you guys were so patient just hanging out for half an hour, just like, oh, he'll be on soon. I was sitting here talking, thinking I was live because the preview said it and this said it, and I'm a noob. That's all there is to it. I feel like such a noob, but it was great to have you guys on here with me today. Thank you for joining. I'm going to go back to the studio with my little wrist strengthening fidget toy. Time to go and reinstall my MetaMask and see if I can get into this Stargate auction. If not, if I can get into some bonding. And if not, I'm going to just buy it on Binance someday and cry a little bit. And hopefully it's not too many multiples higher. Yeah. And Jedi Hornet invited me to the Blockmates podcast, which is fun. So that'll be great. Look forward to that. And yeah, so next week I'm going to be in Barcelona. If you're there, hit me up on Twitter. Maybe we grab a beer sometime. I mean, it's going to be a busy week, but I'm sure there'll be places where we're all fraternizing, and it'd be lovely to touch base with you guys. And then I'll be back the week after, and I think I'll do a stream. I'll have lots to talk about, I'm sure. We'll see how this trend reversal goes. I hope it's a trend reversal, and I'd love to see the trades that I just took be profitable. Be the first time in a couple months. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. And whatever you do from now until next time, continue to always play from a position of strength. Cheers.